Hey everybody, ABC 10 meteorologist Brendan Minchef here with a look at the forecast for this Memorial Day holiday weekend, and I have to say, it is shaping up to be very nice out there, very seasonal with delta breezes. Sometimes this weekend can be quite warm, sometimes it can even be a little bit on the cooler side, but this weekend, I don't think we could ask for better weather for the end of May. And certainly for the last week, it has been quite warm. We've been in the upper 80s and low 90s, but we're going to be seeing some low to mid 80s through the holiday. So 86 on Saturday, likely the warmest day of the 3-day weekend, and then 83 Sunday, 83 again on Monday. Mostly seasonal. The average high 82 to 83 through the weekend, and that's basically where we are each and every day. Saturday will be a bit warmer than Friday, but then right near average for Sunday and Monday, which of course is Memorial Day proper. So maybe you're headed out to the water, headed up to the high country, or just spending a weekend at home, maybe firing up the grill in the backyard. A perfect weekend to do so. I do want to say though, and just reiterate that where we are this time of year, fire danger is becoming more elevated. We don't even have to have specific triggers where it's very gusty out of the north or where there's really low relative humidity. It's just we're drying out. These valley fuels dry very quickly. It's been more than 50 days since we've seen any sort of meaningful rainfall, and the valley just turns brown very, very quickly. We can see it visually, and there's data to back that up as well. So one of the things that I'm just going to call out here is there is that kind of elevated fire danger across Northern California. It's not, again, it's not like there's a specific trigger. It's just that the chance for fires breaking out is easier now because of how dry everything's getting in the valley and lower foothills. The trees up in the high country still pretty green. Same story out kind of in the coastal range for most of it at least, but those take a lot longer to dry than the fuels in the valley, which is why, again, we just see that elevated fire danger. Thursday, we saw numerous fires breaking out in the valley. Just keep that in mind. Afternoon humidity, 15 to 30%, which really is not all that low. It is dry, but then we are going to have some strong evening onshore winds. And even though that's an onshore wind, that's a delta breeze, that wind can still kind of move any fires that do kind of start. It can move them very quickly. So just keep in mind the fire danger. It's going to be something we talk a lot about until we get back to the rainy season in a few months' time. As we look at the weather pattern, a little system passing off to the north is what's going to knock our temperatures down as we head through the holiday weekend. Keep us pretty seasonal. Not much of note through the weekend, but I do want to say, notice what happens after the weekend. High pressure starts to build in, and then it just kind of sits there. It doesn't really go anywhere. We might even have a little cutoff low just off the coast of California, and that could even lock in this heat and this high pressure over us for a longer period of time. So something that I'm watching pretty closely is the opportunity for our first real heat wave of the year, specifically by the time we get towards about Friday and Saturday of next week. I'll give it a 50-50 chance right now of hitting at least 100 degrees, but some of the models have been pretty consistently showing temps of about 101 or 102 to end the month of May and start the month of June. So just know, right as we get to the end of the month here, I am tracking that potential for our first triple-digit heat of the year. Again, specifically, it's about May 29th through June 1st. High temperatures near and above 100 degrees are looking possible. I'm not locking it in just yet, but certainly it's been on my radar, no pun intended, it's been on my radar for several days at this point. We're just going to keep watching it. It's too early to lock it in. It's too early to say this is for sure going to happen, but I will reiterate that from the forecast over the last few days and between all the different weather model runs, everything has been consistently showing that opportunity for triple-digit temperatures. It has not kind of faded away. So it just goes to show you that we are working closer and closer to summertime. Something else that tells us we're working closer and closer to summertime is the opportunity for tropical development in the Eastern Pacific. Specifically, right now, this is off the southern coast of Mexico, and it's not named yet. There's nothing quite there at the moment, but there is a 50% chance of tropical development over the next 7 days. I'm just calling this out because it shows that the season is changing. We're talking less and less about rain here in Northern California and more about fire danger and hotter temperatures. And once we start pulling out the tropics tracker, that just kind of shows you like, hey, we're not in springtime anymore. We're definitely into the summer. This isn't likely to bring us any sort of moisture or influence our pattern whatsoever over the next week. It's, again, just an example of how the seasons are changing. Over the next 5 days here in the foothills, temperatures in the 70s on Friday, upper 70s Saturday, but then notice how it comes back down Sunday into Monday, even the potential for some cloud cover. To end the holiday weekend, similar story in the high country, 60s on Friday. Temperatures bounce back a little bit as we head through the weekend, but upper 60s and low 70s through the long weekend. I do want to say very quickly, didn't really touch on it, but there is a chance for a quick passing shower Saturday afternoon in the high country. I think that opportunity is pretty slim. Can't rule it out completely, but some of the models are indicating the potential for a light shower, maybe an isolated small thunderstorm. Again, I think that chance is pretty low. That's why I didn't put it here on the 5-day forecast, but just keep that in mind if you are going to be headed up to the high country. Here in the valley over the next 3 days, headed into the weekend, temperatures climb into the low 80s for Friday and then just the mid 80s for Saturday, and we stay in the low to mid 80s Sunday and Monday. By the time we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, temperatures do jump back into the mid to upper 80s, so about 4 to 6 degrees warmer than normal for the time of year. Thursday, though, is when the heat really starts to build in. We climb into the 90s, maybe some upper 90s for parts of the valley. Friday and Saturday is the opportunity, I think, the best opportunity for triple digits at this point. But you can see this is still way into the extended part of the forecast. So I'm saying high heat is likely. It is likely we will be near the 100-degree mark. And the record high temperatures those days, especially for Friday, I think is definitely in reach. The record is 100. I've currently got 101 for next Friday. And then similarly on Saturday, the record's 105 and I've got 100. I don't think we're going to be near 105, even though some of the models would like to put us a little closer to that. We'll iron this out over the next several days. Let's not focus too much on the triple digits. Let's focus on the weekend that we've got ahead. A lot of folks have plans, travel plans, just relaxation plans. The weather this weekend is going to be just fine. Just be mindful of that elevated fire danger. Be sure to download the ABC 10 Plus app. You can find it wherever you stream. We've got a weather playlist there with extended forecasts just like this one. Weather explainers such as heat alerts and what to do in high heat situations. We've got fire explainers up there as well. The difference between fire weather watches and red flag warnings. Those are all there under the weather playlist. We also have weather and climate specials, including a few that have been Emmy nominated and one that's even won an Emmy. You can find all those on the ABC 10 Plus streaming app. Download it wherever you stream and then go find the weather playlist. Thanks for watching.